Hello guys, welcome to another weekly breakdown video. Today I'll be breaking down the first week of April. You can argue starting from 31st of March, so obviously it will close on April. And we also know that Rob Dono has passed $1 million in funding in April, right? So having that knowledge in mind, I have a very good anticipation of April, as you can see. So now going on April, I don't have a bias right now because the market condition, look at the market conditions. 1 week it's so volatile and then the market is just choppy. So right now the price is chopping around, even on the lower time frames. On the weekly it's like the price is not doing much, so even the lower time frames are not doing much. And at this point Trump was announcing his tariffs left, right and center, right? So while Trump was doing that, announcing his tariff plan left, right and center, it was being like the price was literally doing anything it wants, anytime it wants, right? But if you followed your plan, if you followed your time window, if you followed your strategy, you could have still been profitable in market conditions like this, bro. I will show you how. Okay, so now before starting the weekly breakdown, I don't want to go on a rant right now, so let me show you the news. So now if I show you the news, Monday it was German prelim CPI, Tuesday New York news, Wednesday non-farm employment, Thursday there was President Trump speak, which was reciprocal something tariff, and it had a very huge impact in the market. I'll show you how. So on Friday it was average hourly earnings and Fed Chair Powell speak, and it was NFP. So also have to keep that in mind. So going on next week, my bias is not one of the cleanest. On weekly time frame, the bias has not been cleanest. It makes sense to go down to fill up this weekly fair value gap. It also makes sense to go up and fill up this fair value gap, so anything can happen in the market. You don't need to know what will happen next to earn money in the markets or make percentages in the market. If you can create a state of mind that is not affected by the market's behavior, the struggle will cease to exist, right? So now going on the next week, my weekly bias is not clear, and whenever my weekly bias is not clear, I trade with the daily bias. Simple as that. I have literally made plans for every condition in the market, and I have literally made strategies for every condition in the market. Because I am only focusing on one or two pairs, which is GBP USD and Euro USD, I have mastered the pairs. I can say that I have mastered the pairs now. It's just a matter of time that I will start investing and yeah, earning a return for me. All I gotta do is stay disciplined. As you can see, stay patient, disciplined and fearless, right? All I gotta do is, so on DXY we can clearly see the bias. The weekly bias is bearish. So according to how this weekly bias on DXY was bearish, I anticipated DXY to be bearish and GU to be bullish. Yes, anything can happen in the market. There is a fair value gap to the upside, there is a fair value gap to the downside. According to my knowledge, anything can happen. And if the weekly time frame is bullish on GBP USD, so I will anticipate a bullish weekly profiling like this. First the market goes down, make the low of the week, and then go up, and then on Friday it gives a pullback, so on and so forth, something like that. So on the daily time frame, you can clearly see this was the supply. Now this is the new supply because of the change of character, supply, demand, fair value gap, market structure shift. And yeah, so now the weekly bias is not clear, right? The weekly bias is not clear. On the daily time frame, you can see last week what happened. Monday went down, Tuesday literally went down, went up again, and so on and so forth. Wednesday went down, CPI. Thursday, to be honest, even if the market condition is choppy right now, even in this kind of market condition, with my strategy, with my bias, with my time windows, I can literally make percentages. I am literally making percentages right here. All you gotta do is lower your stop loss, meaning you gotta take good entries. You gotta focus on your time windows. Whenever the price is in your time window, you gotta focus, right? So if you can do that, literally you can catch trades, very, very beautiful trades. Even if the market is choppy, my performance in this kind of market is very, very good. Last week I literally took trades, but it was losses. To be honest, it was a loss, but the strategy is at least playing out, right? So now going on Monday, the daily bias is not clear. As you can see, the price was choppy last week, and also the weekly bias is not clear. So the best thing to do in this case was to not trade. So Monday I didn't took the trade because the weekly bias was not clear. And if I show you, the bias on Monday is not aligning with the weekly and the daily time frame, so just one trade on Monday. Monday I didn't took the trade, right? So no need to show that. So it will be just waste of time. So now going on Tuesday, my bias is again not clear on GBP USD according to how that closed. If I go to DXY, my bias is bullish. On DXY, bias is bullish to target the previous day high and the previous day high. And on Euro USD, the market is also doji. Euro USD was a doji candlestick, and GBP USD also was a doji candlestick, but DXY was bullish, right? So I decided not to trade. Even on Tuesday I decided not to trade because the bias was not clear, and if I did trade, I believe, let's see what happened. And if I show you the H1 on Tuesday, I did got the trade, but the trade was not in my session, if it makes sense. The Asian range reacted from the New York session, as you can see, and the trade was a continuation model. So the Asian high never got swept. The move literally happened not in our timing. Look, I didn't trade on Tuesday because the move didn't happen at our timing. Tuesday was a no trade day for me because my setup didn't show up. Look at this. The time window that I trade didn't show up, right? So the trade didn't show up, and me as a disciplined trader, I didn't force anything. I just didn't took the trade. Simple as that. Sometimes some weeks will be no trading for you, right? And that's totally fine. The day you have entered the financial markets, you have subconsciously or unconsciously accepted the fact that you are not going to get the trades every single day. You are not going to win every single trade, but it's fine. You are doing this just because of the burning desire you have for trading, right? You know this can change your life, and you have chose this for a reason. And just work for it, and you'll get it. The universe is very giving. If you genuinely give your best, you can't fail. That's a fact. So now here we can see on Wednesday my bias changed to bullish here according to how this Tuesday candle closed. And on DXY my bias is now a doji. On DXY it's a doji, and on GBP USD is bullish, and on Euro USD is bearish, right? So all the three pairs are doing different. I decide my bias with what I'm going to trade according to after watching all of the pairs. So in this case, literally the bias was not clear, and also the price was chopping around. It was making kind of a left head and a potential right shoulder, but I don't trade that, and I stopped trading the head and shoulders and any market patterns, because the price doesn't move because of patterns. The price moves due to liquidity sweeps. The price goes from one liquidity grab to another liquidity grab to another liquidity grab. The price is either going from a supply to a demand or a demand to a supply. We need to figure out where the price is in right there at the moment and where it can go. And according to the weekly profiling and all the knowledge that I've gained, I can do that. So now according to how this Wednesday candle closed, Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday was no trade day for me, because obviously the Wednesday the bias was not clear and not aligning between the correlation of the pairs, so decided not to trade. Simple as that, right? So now going on Thursday, finally my bias is a little bit clearer. Wednesday closed as a very bullish candle, so on Thursday I'm looking for buys. Simple as that. And on DXY my bias is bearish, but not one of the clearest again. And on Euro USD, Euro USD was bearish, man. Price went up, literally went down at the end of the day. So Wednesday was a bearish. Even now the bias is not aligning, man. This week was a very, very tricky week to trade from, to be honest. Right now the market is shifting from a low volatile market to a high volatile market suddenly due to Trump tariffs. You can blame Trump, you can blame anything. You can blame the rain when you get wet, right? That's not the point. You have to take full accountability for every action that you take and everything that you are responsible for. That is when you will improve. If you make excuses, your life will become an excuse. Here on the 4-hourly time frame, the previous week high has been swept. So much of liquidity from the previous days has been swept here, and now going on Thursday I'm looking for a buy. On the H4 also there was a change of character. I didn't mark that, but on Thursday I'm looking for buys. And according to how this Asian range closed, obviously if I'm looking for a buy, I want the Asian range to trend down and give us a move from some sort of New York demand, right? So this would be a very good setup, an A-class setup, but the market is not perfect, right? The market is not perfect, we know that. So having that information that the market is not perfect and we know that, clearly I adapt to the market conditions. So according to an adaptable trader, what I did, I waited for the Asian range to close, the Asian high to get swept. I waited for my time window, because I only trade in my time window, which is London session, because the most volatility enters in the market there. And then what I did was I waited for the change of character. I already have traded or backtested the continuation model, so I know how to trade continuation models. So the momentum was very high. The Asian high got swept very volatilely. And then I waited for the Asian high, the break of structure to happen on the M5, waited for the equilibrium to hit, and then entered the trade with a 10 pip stop loss. You can argue, bro, why was your stop loss not covering these lows right here? Because it would not make sense. Covering that low, the stop loss would not make sense. I took a high risk, high reward trade. I just believe in my trade. I believe in my backtesting. I took a 10 pip stop loss, and the rest was history. Literally, it was a 1:6 risk reward, but maybe I would have taken my profits at a 1:4, so I would not do anything. But this was a to be honest, C setup, bro. This setup was a B or C setup. I would have not taken in the live markets, I believe, but because I'm backtesting, I've just backtested. And if next time in the market conditions like this appears and the Asian range is very, very volatile, like it was in this case, it was 80 pips Asian range, 72 pips, sorry, and on Euro USD it was 80 pips, so it was a very, very tricky week, right? So now going on, so this was Thursday. The only trade that I've taken was on Thursday because of the bias, and yeah, which played out, but I don't know if I would have taken that or not. But yeah, maybe I would, maybe I wouldn't, who knows. So now next time when Trump does something crazy like tariffs and all, I will be fully ready. I would be fully ready to adapt to the market conditions, right? Now we know what happens when Trump does like that. So that's why experience is so important. Experiencing the market conditions is so important. That's why I say it, right? I emphasize that so much. So now going on Friday, my bias is again not one of the clearest, not bullish nor bearish, and also it's NFP, so I decided not to trade on Friday, but I will show you. And on DXY, literally we can see DXY literally is going down now, and on the weekly time frame it has filled up the weekly fair value up to the T, man. I have not seen that. So now the daily demand zone is not valid anymore. Thursday was very, very bearish, but at the end of the day bulls came in the market. So Euro USD was a very bullish day, as you can see, but the bears came in the market. And now going on Friday, I decided not to trade because on Friday the setup didn't appear, we didn't took the trade, simple as that. So boom. And on Friday it was very unexpected, Brand. It was very unexpected. Literally a huge move happened to the downside on Friday, which was very, very unexpected. And if you expect something from the markets, then you are doing something wrong, bro. Don't expect anything. You will only feel bad or feel unfulfilled when you expect something. If you don't expect anything from anyone, you will not feel abundant or anything, right? So this was the weekly profiling for you guys. I know this week was nothing interesting, but got to learn a lot of things. This is just the start of April. I want to see what April has to bring, because I know Rob Dono has passed $1 million in funding, and I just 20 backtests left. I have already done 80 backtests, and I have already handwritten 80 backtests, journal 80 backtests, and I have literally 400 to 500 backtests I have already done. So I know in what conditions what to do. You can get that, right? So hard work pays off, and I know it's gonna pay off soon. It's up to me if I am ready for that, and I am, bro. I am mentally ready for that, and I'm gonna do anything it takes. I'm gonna motivate myself every single day. I'm gonna do what I say, and I say what I do. So here we can see, according to the condition in the market, you can read it, you can pause and read it. So this was the weekly profiling, and according to the weekly profiling, the Monday, Tuesday was doji, Wednesday, Thursday went up, Friday went down. So according to this, how this weekly candle closed, this candle is officially a bearish candle for me, according to the weekly profiling. And also on the weekly time frame, it is a very, very bearish week. As you can see, price went up, and then the sellers came in the market and literally took all the pressure. So now going on next week, my bias will be bearish, and I will backtest that tomorrow. So today's 10 backtests done, and today I have done whatever I said I've done. The only mistake that I've done was I have spent some time with losers and hear their lamentations, which I will not do, which I will try my hardest not do. If I don't want to do that, I need to get out of here, and which I'm gonna do that. So this is the weekly breakdown for you guys. Hope you guys learned something from this week. And yeah, the market conditions change, so according to that you need to adapt to your strategy. You need to tweak your strategy according to the conditions. And yeah, don't take shit from anyone, don't lower your standards for anyone, and yeah, you will see the success.